And we're at halftime. Coach Jeff Sokol of the champions of the HCAC. And I'll tell you what, I was so happy to see you have an opportunity to win this ball game. Multiple reasons. But as we go through this one, this is the first time you've had a chance to win one outright. What does that feel like compared to 2016 when you had to tie and then you go into tournament?
Yeah, both really special. You know, what's been really unique about this football game is up until today, we've really got through injury-free through the whole season. But 2016 was special because it was the first time we got to go to the playoffs. But winning the conference outright and winning the way we won today was very, very satisfying for me and the team.
Well, it wasn't just one side of the ball that wins the ball game. You had multiple things happen throughout the game. You had an injury to your best, we would say probably one of your better defensive linemen, starter. He goes out with what looks like a shoulder injury.
Yep.
And then people just picked up the pace. You had 2 interceptions in the first half, 1 in the second. Those interceptions set up everything. We've noticed that the speed from this year's ball club, we think, is markedly better than the overall speed you've had as an overall team.
Yeah, our skill group is really, really good right now. Our running backs are excellent. Andrew has been outstanding all year playing quarterback for us. And those receivers just make everything happen. They just when Noah Thomas made the decision to come back, it was almost, I mean, we were already excited about our receiving core, and then Noah came back, and it was almost an embarrassment of riches at that point. I told Andrew, I'm like, I mean, have fun figuring out, you know, keeping all those guys happy, because it's not going to be easy. But, yeah, no, that group of receivers we have is a really, really special group.
Well, the other thing I've noticed is the 5 linemen you have 4 sophomores and a freshman that are on the field. They're only going to get better, and throughout the year we saw progression of how well they opened holes, and they did a great job for all 3 running backs that ran the ball today.
Yeah.
But especially just throughout the end of the season, you could just see a marked improvement by how those guys block.
Yeah, when I hired Andy Freeze to be our offensive coordinator and our O-line coach, I told him, like, listen, man, the good news is you got our 6 best O-linemen are seniors. If we play in the spring, you're going to have an amazing group. Like, the bad news is they're all going to be gone, and by the fall, you're going to have a lot of work to do to get those guys ready to play. And he's done an awesome job. Those guys, they really have improved significantly so much. And that group, you know, from, you know, you think about where we were at in the beginning of the year and where we're at now, they're just a great unit.
They don't look like sophomores and freshmen playing. They look like seniors. They dominated the front line today against a pretty stout Mount St. Joe defensive front.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I honestly haven't looked at any statistics or anything, but I assume we ran the ball decent, and I know they held up in pass pro. I know we had 1 sack, I think, but yeah, no, that group is significantly overachieved. It was really the only question mark we had coming into the season is, you know, who would be our O-line, and, you know, how we would be able to function with such a young O-line, and those guys really stepped up and answered that question very well.
Defensively is where I think the real core group of this senior class, and with everybody else that you have going, you seem to be so solid defensively from week to week. It really hasn't changed throughout the year. You just play solid. An extreme amount of pressure on an opposing quarterback, which led to the interceptions. Every one of the interceptions was caused because that defensive front, along with the linebackers and the blitzing up-tempo front that you run defensively, really put pressure on an offense that really wasn't prepared for it, I don't think.
Yeah. If you watch that Dolphins game on Thursday night, everyone's giving those guys all the credit in the world for coming up with their scheme and beating the Ravens. I was like, I've been watching Rose-Hulman do that for 3-4 years. And it started with Nick Davis. You know, he's moved on from Rose-Hulman, and Coach Stanton, our current defensive coordinator. I mean, he got his job. His first day at Rose-Hulman was the day we reported for camp. So he had a tremendous challenge to get his staff prepared and to get himself prepared to coordinate a defense for the first time in his career, and he's just done a really awesome job. That being said, he inherited an unbelievable group of players led by Michael Stevens, our senior captain, linebacker, an unbelievable secondary. Those guys, we can be as complicated as we are up front and commit that many guys to the line of scrimmage because we can cover guys every snap of the game in man coverage. And there's not a lot of Division III secondaries that are Division III coordinators that are comfortable doing that, but we are. And I know we're going to give up a fade or two every game. It happens. And sometimes if they got a really good receiver, we give up a lot of fades and a really good quarterback. But I just think, it gives us a chance against the really, really good teams that we play. And whether we lose to a really good team by 10 or by 50, I don't really care if we got a chance to be in the game. So, and then when the talent is equal, I feel it gives us a huge advantage. So,
well, especially you put pressure on it. Quarterbacks in the HCAC are not used to seeing pressure in your face, man pressure all the time. So they have to have man beaters, and not only do those man beaters have to be good in the scheme, but they have to be even better physically. And I think that's where you talked about your secondary. We didn't see a secondary look like your secondary all year long, and I watch on the games that you're away when I have a chance, and see other secondaries as well in the HCAC, and by far the best secondary in the conference was how Rose-Hulman played. And even today, you're in cover one, pressure the whole time, brought people off edge, brought people up the middle. They had no idea where people were coming from.
Yeah, the kids in the secondary are really special. I think we've had more interceptions this year than we've had in a long time. Tice Miller locks down the opponent's best receiver every week, or, Winston and Amonkwa, they've both been tremendously productive. Shai Cousseau's been awesome. Rashard Brown is the one high guy in the back, and he just covers so much ground back there and bails us out of trouble anytime we get into it up front. So Riley Roberts, our senior captain back there. Again, our secondary is just really, really a group of good players that play super hard.
And honestly, at the start of the year, I thought this could be one of your better years if that offensive line gelled. So it's just the gelling of this whole group. And it's not just on the field, is it?
No, I mean, I think one of the things that makes our team special is, our guys don't just share their football experience and their social experience here. They share their academic experience too. And going to school here is hard. It's really hard. And nobody gets through this place without help. And the nice thing for our team is their teammates are their biggest support network. So it's really easy when you're struggling in a class to go to the guy in the locker next to be like, hey man, what are you doing on this? I can't get this concept. Can you help me understand this? And there's always upperclassmen that were great at that subject. Listen, like 98% of the people in the world can't succeed at a place like Rose-Hulman. The kids that I get to coach are wired to be successful here. They love math. They love science. Not many people love math and love science. We just happen to be able to find guys that are also great at football. And as long as we can keep doing that, we're going to have tremendous success here. But those guys helping each other and kind of struggling together through the academics, I think, makes us an even tighter team.
And you can really tell that at the end of ball games, at the end of the wins, even if we would happen to see the loss, which, early in the season. And that's the other thing. And I've noticed with both, even the men's and women's program in basketball has done the same thing. Their pre-conference schedule at the start of the year really set them up. And I thought your pre-conference schedule was right where it needed to be. Wasn't too difficult, but it was extremely difficult if you look at it from the teams you played. You played the best teams in multiple conferences getting ready for this one.
Yeah, I mean, all three of those were Wabash and Trine and Hope were all playoff caliber teams, and we knew that when we scheduled them. So it was, we thought we had a chance to win all three of those games, and we had a chance to lose all three of those games. I don't think we were favored to win any of those games. So, going up to Hope and playing okay, but fighting until the end and getting really kind of scratching and clawing back into a football game there. We were 1-2 at that point, but I told the guys after that game, like, listen, we're a good football team, and we've done nothing but play good football teams. We're battle tested. We're ready for the HCAC. Let's go win a championship. And they responded, and they are the best kids in the world to coach. They're just easy to motivate. They work super hard. And I got the best job in the world.
Well, if you can't tell that, folks, I think that's probably the best statement of all. I've got the best job in the world. It's not. It's not like Ohio State or anything like that. But at the same time,
I don't want Ryan Day's problems.
Yeah, you don't get them either.
Nope.
You get different ones. Congratulations, Coach. A very successful season. This next week, we know that you're probably going to go to one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the actual tournament in our general area, and that could be.
I mean, honestly, if you draw us, we can go anywhere within a 600-mile radius of here, and there's a lot of schools in that radius. Yeah. So I think one of the reasons they like when we make the tournament is we can get to some places other schools in our conference can't because of how far west we are.
Right.
So a trip to Iowa is not out of the question. We can go to Wisconsin, Illinois. We go down south. I would.
Yeah.
One of the guys was saying one of the prognosticators had us going to Birmingham Southern if they won. They ended up losing. I don't know if they're going to make the tournament or not, but a trip down south after that cold day today sounds pretty good. We're just happy to go anywhere they send us, and we're excited for the selection show at 5:30 tomorrow to find out where we're going. And we got finals this week, so I don't know you guys that know what finals are like here at Rose-Hulman, but they start at 8 in the morning and end at 10 o'clock at night. So I don't know when we're going to practice. We'll figure out a time at some point. We'll get the kids ready and go give it our level best.
I know you will. What a great season for Rose-Hulman football, and as we look forward to tournament, we're just happy to bring you the action that we brought you today here for Conference Championship. It's the HCAC. Again, Rose-Hulman football wins 58-21. Coach Jeff Sokol, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Herb. Thanks, Walt. You guys do an awesome job. Appreciate you.
Thank you. We'll be right back with more here from Rose-Hulman.